It's going to be hard to see me because I'm driving, but it is currently 6:20 in the morning on Thursday, January 2nd. All the Christmas, New Year hype has kind of died back. At least I'd hope. I'm not a New Year connoisseur. I think if you're going to set goals, you should set goals now, and you should just act upon them as soon as possible. A new year doesn't, it's just like a new year is like, yes, okay, sure, you get a fresh restart. Your W-2 forms are restarting, and you're gonna have to pay your taxes. Whoop-de-doo. Uh, and it's another. Oh my gosh, people don't know how to drive in the morning. Uh, but it, it's just like it's so cliche, I guess, is the what I'm looking for, the word I'm looking for. Start sooner than everybody else because God is giving you two time. God is gonna give you more power. At least I feel like that is what is happening. And during the, you know, I would say I'd go even further to say instead of the 25th, I'd say the 20th through the second of the year. And we could even say through January 6th, because that's when everybody starts school again, is like the laziest time of year. It's when you have like, when God's giving double XP in real life, where you got to train twice as hard. You, it, and you got to work twice as hard because everybody's just sitting there relaxing, doing nothing. Oh yeah, they're spending time with their family, but um, and they just sit there sleeping and eat more and all this BS. It's I worked harder, and I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I sure we went and opened gifts, and I had to spend a couple hours over at my family's place because that's what you got to do. I'm not saying don't have Christmas, but work harder. There's gonna be that time where you're sitting in your room at night when not everybody's up, and instead of sitting there playing Call of Duty, trying to get to Prestige Master, get to Prestige Master in real life. It's so obvious to me that this is not instilled upon a lot of people. Uh, and I don't know why. Uh, but that's my rant of today. And I'd say that we're going into this new year, new job. Is that cliche? No, I'm on my way for my second to last day of being a fireplace technician. I never said what I did until now on the internet. And the reason why I didn't say what I did is just because I thought, how weird would it be if some YouTuber was like a fireplace technician and you had like some weird fan call up the place of work and be like, I need my fireplace work done and send this technician up. And I pull up, bro, and it's just a fanboy. I mean, not that I have much people like that, but the fact that it's a possibility, I had to prepare myself, which I just was thinking ahead. Just what you should do in anything. And then, of course, there's work. there's harassment too. Like, imagine, I don't know, I start some internet beef and somebody goes and threatens my place of work. That is not what I want. I've learned so much at this job. I've came out of my shell a lot. I was like a very quiet individual. And I think starting a YouTube channel actually kind of amplified that a lot. It's just like money, except YouTube just amplifies who you are. Are you some nerd that can't speak properly? Are you somebody that is just, are you somebody that is able to retain and entertain an audience? So that's what the goal of this job was, is I didn't want to be a fireplace technician for years to come. There's no progression in it. There's no career to it. Now, I've garnered a lot of respect for the people inside of this trade or inside of the technician realm, because you work till the job is done. You're not on, you're paid by the hour, sure, but you don't get to go home until you finish all your jobs for the day. Sometimes you're grinding up until like 9 p.m. at night. And that changes somebody's view on the world. It does. It's like, and people kind of underestimate that. You don't really think, oh, this technician is just, he's just here to get his job done and then go home. No, this technician's here because he has to get his job done before he can actually get home. And then he has to deal with angry customers all day. And then he has to make sure his truck is up to spec, and all the other stuff that comes along with it. Now, is this a complaint? No. It's just the fact that a lot of people don't realize and recognize these technicians are important. And I wanted to experience this. I wanted to drive around the rich neighborhoods and learn, turn on my listening ears and learn a lot from these rich people. No rich person in Arizona has a fireplace, especially in Phoenix, in Scottsdale, in Glendale. You know, this is the truth. I've went to middle class places, yes, but those are like older fireplaces that, of course, aren't really going to be updated. And so, I got to meet people that have $50 billion net revenue companies, or I got to make a connection with the guy the other day in a marketing, or he had 140 companies, was living in a semi mansion. Who would have thought that was even a term, a semi mansion? I don't even think that's the correct terminology for it. That's only what rich people have to worry about. A semi mansion. Dude, it was a huge house. But I gotta ask him a lot about business. He saved my phone number in his phone, and that's what I care about. That's the value that I got out of this job. And I get to learn how to enact in these stressful situations, or how I act. Now, expressing this, how will it continue? I did this for about a year and 6 months. And I'd say that when I ask people for feedback, when I've asked homeowners, when I've asked fellow, fellow technicians, when I've asked my boss, how can I improve? Now, obviously, they could just be being nice, but I think this is the truth. Because let me tell you this: when I sat down to put in my 2 weeks, as I do, uh, with the main head guy, we'll call him Bob, for the sense of for the sense of keeping everybody's uh, names and the company secure, just in case whatever happens to me, if I ever, I don't know, something happens. But Bob, I sat down with him and I after I told him, hey, I'm going to do X, I asked for feedback. The entire time we had locked eye contact. After I asked him for feedback, sort of lost eye contact. And I pondered about this for a couple of days. Why would he lose eye contact when I asked for feedback? Now, there's two things. He could either be lying to me, or nobody's ever asked him that question in the way that I've asked him. And I'm going to go with two, because I trust Bob. And so that made it, that brought me that brought me ease. Is that a good grammar right there? That brought me ease in thinking about, or in leaving this job. Did I get offered more money? No. Because would they have offered me more money? I don't know. I told them I was working on studying for this license for 2 months or 6 months, and I passed the test. So I think they kind of realized 6 months. That's a long time. I don't think any sort of money is going to make him stay. No. Or not. Or not. Maybe I'm just tugging my own schmeat. But I'm glad. I'm glad. I think I learned a lot about the world too. Learned a lot about single people, married people, and how to structure questions a lot better than most people. Because a lot of people will come into these houses and be like, "Oh, you're such a big deal. You're such a big deal. Let me how can I help you? How can I learn? Well, how do I do what you do?" And they probably heard that before. And they're just like, "Ugh, this guy is just ugh. He's trying to extract so much value. He's like a wolf. Uh trying to get you can just smell it on people. You're like a wolf. You're greedy for the kill. Is that a good correlation? I hope so. Uh, but if you don't seem greedy and you ask these good questions that make people think, like, what's the biggest thing that you learned throughout your career is one of the basic ones I like to use. Oh, this is what you can always get out of something. Oh, well, that's a good question. Because then they think, and they're almost in this. There's some psychology behind it where they're like, "No, I have to answer. This was a good question, right?" But if it's some mediocre, mid question, amateur thought of it, then they could just brush it off. But I like to rant about these because I think people can learn. People can learn what and what not to do. And as long as you're dedicated as a technician, people will see that. You walk into a house and this person has had trouble with their fireplace for, they've been going back and forth with our company for 8 months. And they haven't had somebody sit in front of it for 5 hours trying to figure it out. They recognize that. They realize the dedication. And I just wanted to say, thank you for this opportunity, God. Thank you for aligning the stars and guiding me to where I am. I think this has built me as a man. And I think it is very important for people to get customer to customer experience. Now, I've never had this. I've never had this. It's been so resourceful and useful to me. Resourceful? No, that's a bad word. Sorry, I shouldn't have used resourceful. I haven't gained any resources off of it. I guess I've gained more of a network. And that's what I wanted to do with this job, is gain more of a network, hand out my business cards on the side. But anyway, I've never I never had a job at Starbucks, McDonald's. I've been in the back. I was a machinist. I was a machinist for the longest. I was a dishwasher before that. So you could see here that, and I would, I'm a geek, I guess I could say, in a sense. Well, maybe I'd like to say I'm veering away from that geek, geeky type of thing. But, when you sit in front of a computer screen playing video games, it kind of makes your social skills a little weirder. It makes you, it makes you a little weirder. It makes you smile weird. I don't know. So get out there, please. Now, welcome to 2025. I was trying to figure out how I could put this video together. We're at 19999 miles right now, 19,999 miles, by the way, on this truck. Oh, we hit 20K. 20K. Let's go. Um, I was trying to figure out how I should structure this video, and I thought that it was best I just go for it. So, I hope this inspired some of you, or educated some of you in some which way. Uh, New year, new you. Don't be cliche. Cliche. If you don't have your goals already in mind, if you don't have stuff organized, do it now. If you're behind, if you're not in the gym already, start doing push-ups at home. Don't go to the gym now. Statistically, I'm not a numbers guy, but you're just bound to fail. So start at home. And then, after a month of being consistent at home, go to the gym. That's my advice. But who am I? I'm just a BWARE documenting his journey. Hit the like, subscribe, keeps the lights on. I'll see you in the next one.